Oh, shit. Damn. I'm not a plane person. Pretty sure there's supposed to be something pointy up here. You see right here, you got here. Here is a foobar situation. What's up, everybody? Celtic here back with another reaction. Get those 10s and 20 views. Yeah, I took Wednesday off. I'm still kind of recovering from my vacation, plus I worked. And I was debating on streaming, and that felt So, yeah. So there's that. Today's reaction is actually a request. I'll have the screenshot, up on. I said I'll have the. No. Helps if I use the right keyboard. uh, bah. Screenshot up. This one is from Scarf 3878, and he says, Celtic, love your military reactions. Thank you. Could you react to the B-17 that flew without a cockpit by the channel Flack Alley? I think that's how you pronounce it. It was my grandpa. It was my gramps. And his memorial is coming up, and I would love to react to help spread awareness. His memorial is coming up, and I'll to watch you react to his story to help remember the fallen. And yeah, of course I'm gonna react to this. I'm not gonna work on the any side experiments.
Have you ever wondered what?
Shush you. So we are on the channel Black Alley, and we're gonna react to, of course, the B-57 that flew without a cockpit.
First Lieutenant.
Shush. I have to get to the right page. Alright, of course, as always, I should shrink my model down a tiny bit. And just lower him. Bah. Okay. Of course, the channel ID is above my head. The title is in the description. If you want me to react to something, let me know. Take it away, good sir. Let's learn about this story. This story already sounds crazy because he flew without a cockpit. Okay, did he fly without an actual cockpit and he just steered it from the back, or did he lose his shielding and whatnot? I don't know. I'm about to learn. Let's learn. Let's learn some shit.
It was the 14th of July, 1944. A thunderous evening. Cruising at 25,000 feet, 24-year-old First Lieutenant Ewald Swanson of
Ewald Swanson. Come on. A name like
feet, 24-year-old.
One. A name like Ewald doesn't come around that often, especially nowadays. You're lucky. And look at this guy. Zero shits to give. And I do remember, if I'm remembering, hold on, I gotta get to, here, Matt. Hat pops up. Apparently this is Scarf's grandfather. So that one. Big dad energy right here. This is oh, you're taking my photo? Alright, that's sweet.
First Lieutenant Ewald Swanson of the 483rd Bomb Group was pilot of a B-17.
Christ. Okay, which was Ewald? Because if it's this dude, he's a damn giant.
G Flying Fortress, nicknamed Mizpah. Its tail number.
I'm just throwing this out there. You don't have to confirm anything. Not far from where I reside in the haunted forest of South Jersey, there actually is a mini town called Mizpah. I actually almost moved to Mizpah.
42, 32, 109. Their mission was to strike at the very heart of the Nazi stronghold in Budapest, Hungary.
So you figure they had to be flying out of, like, this region.
The formation consisted of 60 flying fortresses,
Or they could be in Italy by now. They're probably actually in Italy.
and as they entered Hungary, they were bombarded by relentless curtains of thick flak. Explosions erupted all around Mizpah, shredding the tail section and punching holes into the battle-worn wings.
I believe the flak is just basically giant shotgun shells from the sky.
Nonetheless, the B-17 formation presses through the initial flak bombardment and heads inbound towards their main target, the Ferencváros railroad yards. This was one.
Ooh. That's a key infrastructure. You know, I think we should hound Habitual Line Crosser to do a reenactment of this, because, you know, Hell's Kitchen. Not in New York. Because he has a character buff, and it's the B-52 Flying Fortress.
One of the most heavily defended and strategically vital targets of the late war, critical for the movement of troops, equipment, and oil.
Yeah, if you can cut off their movement, aka their tanks from getting to the front lines faster, yeah, that's great.
Keeping the German war machine alive. Now, just seconds away from the target, Bombardier 2nd Lieutenant Kenneth Dudley lines up the Sperry bomb site and successfully releases their bombs. All of a sudden, chaos erupts. A Flak 88 round lands square on the
Oh, shit. Damn. I'm not a plane person. Pretty sure there's supposed to be something pointy up here. You see right here, you got here. Here is a foobar situation.
nose of Mizpah. The nose explodes, vaporizing the bombardier and the navigator, whilst covering.
Ah. Damn. Oh, yeah, I kind of figured they weren't surviving that, but still. Wait, not the pilot? How'd the pilot survive?
the front of the fortress
Granted, the pilot didn't survive. Scarf would not suggest this because, you know, it's his grandfather.
in blood. The nose peels off above the aircraft, and shrapnel from the cockpit ricochets throughout the cabin, piercing wing gunner Sergeant Wesley Tucker in the chest.
Oh, Tucker's a giant, oh.
The inside
The man that big, of course he's gonna get hit.
temperature plummets to a freezing minus 30 degrees. Due to the extreme damage, the center of gravity shifts to the tail, causing the fortress to pitch up into a vertical. They were
Okay, I gotta think this is just me spitballing because, you know, that's reactions, why pause it. If you don't want the pause and want to hear this crazy ass story, there's the link in the description down below. I guess without the nose, you would kind of rather pitch up because then you can parachute out the back. But if it's going out the front, you're kind of just falling out and trying to avoid getting hit by the plane.
mere seconds away from stalling out and entering a death spiral. Astonishingly,
Yep, that's what I was afraid of, the death spiral.
First Lieutenant Ewald Swanson, despite no longer having a cockpit, regains control of the battered B-17 and re-enters the formation. The crew of a nearby B-17, nicknamed Yvonne, couldn't believe what they were seeing. A blood-soaked B-17 without a nose pulls up alongside them in one
Gotta be like a goddamn ghost ship. It's just... Ah, damn it, we lost the Mizpah. The fuck? Where'd you come from?
of the most haunting sights of the war. Mizpah was strangely flying as if nothing had happened. What was happening inside the B-17 was even more impressive.
No shit, that's more impressive. They're somehow controlling this big beast.
Since there was no cockpit or control column left to maneuver the aircraft, under the screaming command of Pilot Swanson, the crew had begun to fly the aircraft by pulling the exposed control cables by hand. Despite
I need a fat electrician video. I need an HLC video. This is a story I need more of.
having lost a significant part of the aircraft, this flying fortress and its injured crew refused to go down, a symbol of unwavering courage and indomitable machine spirit.
Also, I bet you if they go down, they're going to be POWs, and Germans at that time weren't being extra kind to the POWs in the this late stage of the war.
However, over 200 Flak 88 guns still had their sights set on the formation. Suddenly, another explosion rattles the B-17. A flak barrage destroys their number 2 engine as the fortress begins to lose power and airspeed. With the nose blown off and an engine gone, Mispa and her crew, through sheer determination and will, kept the aircraft airborne. However, the
We got more engines!
effects of drag from all the damage received was increasing by the second. Mispa had fallen far behind the formation by now.
Yeah, that makes sense too. That does make sense.
For a perilous 10 minutes, the crew battles the control cables to get as far away from the hornet's nest as possible. Now, over Dunavex, Hungary, pilot Ewald Swanson informs his crew to immediately bail out whilst he held it steady. 7 crew members successfully bail out of the aircraft.
Okay.
Swanson could no longer tame the crippled fortress on his own. Immediately, the B-17 pitches up, trapping Swanson inside the fuselage. He grabs the parachute and keeps it close to him, waiting for the B-17 to stall out. As the fortress comes to a standstill, Swanson takes the opportunity to jump out of the front, but just as he does, his chute catches the torn metal of the cockpit.
Never easy, is it, my man? Never easy. You got punched in the mouth. Nose got shattered. You got pretty much lost an engine. You somehow managed to get so far away that you got 7 of your men out, which is an impressive feat all its own. And then you're like, all right, my turn to get bail as the good captain. I waited for everybody else to be off and safe. And then that gets you.
Ripping through the fabric with brutal force. This was a blessing in disguise, however, as if the
Really?
fabric hadn't torn, he would have gone down with the ship, pinned by centrifugal forces. Swanson is
Centrifugal is the word he was trying to say. I don't know if this person using an AI voice or he's just foreign, but centrifugal was the word.
violently flung back, narrowly missing the tail section of the B-17. The young pilot momentarily passes out, whilst falling out the sky from
Yeah, that's an adrenaline dump that just happened.
20,000 feet. When he opened his eyes, he was seconds away from hitting the ground. First Lieutenant Ewald Swanson immediately opens his parachute, but notices that it had sustained significant damage. The chute
The chute would still do its job, just less effective. So he won't hit the ground at like 80 miles an hour. He'll hit the ground at like 30, which is still not good.
was not slowing him down enough for a safe landing. The landing was going to be brutal, one that he was unlikely to walk away from or even survive. By sheer luck, on the way down,
Oh, you gotta hope for hit like some squishy marshland, somehow get caught in a tree, land on a German, unaliven him in the process. You know, something.
he spots what he believed to be an enemy POW camp in the middle of a dense forest. Swanson positions himself on top of the trees by the camp, hoping it would break his fall. Several seconds later, he crashes into the dense.
Yeah, that whiplash though from falling probably around like 30 plus miles an hour to just stopping. I'm surprised the tree held, and God, that heavy torture's on his shoulders and crotch.
First Lieutenant Swanson suffers a broken left leg alongside deep tissue cuts from the tree branches. Against all odds, he survives the landing. The German medics of the POW camp quickly spot Swanson's body in the brush and recover him. They administer life-saving first aid to
Okay, German medics. I give you points, you're getting credit. Good job.
the young pilot, who has at this point stared death in the face and kept going. In fact, to his amazement, he finds out that the entire crew of his B-17 had survived. His crew were
Well, didn't the bombardier and the navigator both get kind of taken out with the nose of the plane? But everyone else, that's damn. he successfully helped survive 7 out of 9, which God's great at average. 8 out of 10 if you count himself.
Captured nearby, only to meet up at the same camp their pilot had somehow ended up at. A happy accident, as they put it. The crew would endure 9 long months through the harsh cold winter at the POW camp. On the 30th of April 1945, US troops would liberate the crew of Mizpah. The war for these
Yeah, figure what you got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, there's 7 there. No, there's 8 there. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 9. Yeah. 7 survived, including him. 8 survived, including him. That's
young
not
men
bad.
had finally come to an end. The 8 survivors would return home to the USA that night. Ewald Swanson's bravery that day would earn him the prestigious rank of Lieutenant Colonel before his retirement from the United States Air Force.
My man needs a Silver Star at the bare minimum. God, not like maybe Medal of Honor because crazy story, but yeah, his whole team needs high-ranking medals.
After the war, he returned to a quieter life, marrying his beloved Katherine Swanson and raising a son together at Michigan, USA. Yet, it was the bond with his B-17 crewmates that remained closest to his heart. In the decades that followed, they would often reunite. Old warriors
Oh, yeah, no crap that would reunite. If I went through something like that and they were my guys, yeah, of course, I would be like, hey, we meeting up again on that day?
with weathered hands and bright eyes, sharing stories of impossible missions and the unbreakable brotherhood they forged when they were barely more than kids. Swanson would pass away peacefully on the 28th of February 2009 at the
2009. Christ, I was a kid. I was roughly probably his age during the mission then at that stage. Also, I'm just going to call this out. This is a crazy insignia. That is cool as hell. That one's okay. That one's okay. This one right here, like, that is super cool.
age of 89, remembered not only as a war hero, but as the only known pilot to have ever flown an aircraft without a cockpit. Only Mizpah and the men who dared to ride her into hell and back could ever truly understand what that meant.
Hold on. Whereabouts of the beloved aren't known. Okay, but I remains of crews can be found. So it was the bombardier and the navigator that unfortunately did not make it. Gotta say, yeah, but that's that initial explosion. So they did a job just to get the 8 of them out.
Only 4.2% of the viewers
This is this guy, robot talking. That is a crazy. Wrong page. Bah. Haha. That is a crazy ass story. Like I said, I want HLC to do a video on it. Granted, I'm so down the totem pole on people that it doesn't matter what I say. They're never gonna watch this. Do a story on that because he has Buff as a character, and Fat Electrician would probably do a crazy deep dive into that a little bit. Like, probably it wouldn't be a long video, but something cool. But that is it. That is a crazy story, and the fact that that's your grandfather scarf is a crazy thing on its own because, well, he probably didn't. I wonder how much he really talked about it. I don't know, type thing, but it is cool. But that is it. That's really all I have. If you want me to react to a video, let me know. I gotta do some horror Halloween videos for this next week. So give me some suggestions. That's it. That's all I have. I'll see you weird people later.